Tonight on The Times on WAMI-69, we don't know if we're making history. In fact, odds are we aren't. But as of midnight tonight, we are history. And our times are flashing before our eyes.
Perfect.
Hey, what do you say? Come on by and squeeze Lola's steak breast. Oh, you're walking away like you get that offer all the time.
This one doesn't have any recoil.
Recoil, that's what you're looking for? Recoil?
Oh, I like that.
Oh, here we go. We've hit a new low.
Yeah, I think that the work has a very literal meaning and a very symbolic meaning. The literal, I mean, it's just people from the community, different elements of what makes this city what it is. And the symbolism is, to me, it's just layered within it. Postmodern cartoon expressionism. The overall message is just eat more ravioli.
Live from WAMI-69, breaking the story and breaking the rules. These are The Times with Ben Mankiewicz.
Topping The Times once and for all. On our final night on the air, some incredibly dramatic developments in the race for president. On the brink of his presidential death, Al Gore is alive. He's alive! Just after 4 p.m., a stunning announcement from the Supreme Court of Florida, a split decision, but still a huge win for Gore. It's the political equivalent of an 80-yard Hail Mary on the last play of the game.
By a vote of 4-3, the majority of the court has reversed the decision of the trial court in part.
Bottom line, the justices ordered a recount of all the undervotes, not only in Dade and Palm Beach counties, but throughout the state. They ordered the counting started immediately. The court also ordered 215 votes from Palm Beach and 168 from Dade added to Gore's total, reducing Bush's lead to just 154 votes. Bush will obviously appeal. Now, as a result of this news, we realize we may have made a mistake this past Monday.
We waited until 4:55 this afternoon to call it for George W. Bush, the 43rd President of the United States. God help us all.
Well, it turns out the good Lord is apparently a fan of The Times. So now, 31 days after the election, we are taking Florida off the board. The Times taking Florida off the board, and we are giving Florida back to Spain. For continuing coverage of this developing story, for the love of God, don't watch us. Check out MSNBC. They'll tell you who the next president will be, and they should have that information sometime in July. For 2.5 years, we have produced this funky little alternative newscast called The Times, but this is it tonight. We've been canceled, the television equivalent of a Dear John letter, but with a severance package, which is nice. It's been an amazing ride. I've been fortunate enough to be here from the start. Unfortunately, not many viewers accompanied us for that ride. Here's a look at how we started and how we're ending.
A special investigation on escalator emergencies. Next.
Our basic premise was simple. Local news sucks.
The hidden dangers of trampoline tragedy.
Our basic mission more complicated. Reinvent local news.
I'm concerned because they want us thinking out of the box. But which box?
Our first anchor, Amy Atkins, got us out of that box on Show 1 exactly 2.5 years ago today, June 8th, 1998.
With so many local figures heading to jail, we wouldn't want the body politic to get flabby. So here's Kyle Joseph, manager of the Excess Gym in South Beach, with some fitness tips for folks in the slammer.
To the naked eye, it does look like a bunk bed. This is Stairmaster, right here in front of us. Good deep breath, inhale, exhale, set, 2.
From that show on, we aimed to tell stories other stations wouldn't dream of airing. From serious, hard-hitting journalism.
I'll be able to live human now. Won't have to eat out of dumpsters and scrounge around.
To less serious, hardly airable stories.
But there's a controversy brewing about the new Tarzan toy by Mattel. I've got it right here. Critics complain that the toy is obscene.
Funny, sure, but it's hard to imagine a Tarzan doll pleasuring himself, is what Barry Diller had in mind when he launched The Times as an alternative to the sleaze and cheese of typical local news.
You just can't watch. It's unwatchable.
CNN featured The Times in a story last year and spoke extensively with Diller.
They all look cookie-cutter alike. I mean, it's the same blazer and the same You know, they all are the same person.
There was nothing the same about the Times. But in our effort to stand alone, we had a few ugly moments. Truth be told, we had hundreds of ugly moments. May 1999, our month-long Weather Babe segment.
Sunny skies are in store for the Northeast. New York will see a pleasant 72 degrees.
Sorry. Keep going. You actually have to read. That's the problem. But political coverage was our signature. We were insightful, irreverent, and arguably irresponsible.
You know, if you put a pot of honey in a forest, bears are going to come along and put their paws in it.
He talks to himself. He spaces out. He looks like he's about to drool. But as long as he's paying the bills, Steve Forbes can be as weird as he wants to be.
It's the Magic City, all right. A city where dead people vote, drug runners service airplanes, and politicians always have their hands out, and sometimes even behind their backs.
Campaign 2000, it's time we went out on a limb and made a bold prediction about the presidential election. So can we get a little bold prediction drum roll, please? Okay, here we go. The race for president will be close. You heard it here first.
What struck me is it's sort of like broadcasting with sort of a wise-ass attitude.
I like what you've said, because what you said is broadcasting with an attitude. We're after personality. We think personality's mostly gone.
Personality? We had plenty. Perhaps too much.
If you shoot at an officer and jeopardize his life and jeopardize all those other people, you're fair game, and whatever happens to you, that's your risk.
Does Hillary get a lot of mail? I mean, what's the story here?
She gets a lot of mail.
You have any mail for her now? Maybe a Newsweek, People?
It's in New York.
Teen People?
It's in New York.
Tiger Beat?
Nope.
Playgirl?
If the Chad doesn't fall, it's too close to call.
In the end, unbelievably, the presidential election lasted longer than we did. Our final Chad has fallen. Diller's bold experiment has to be considered a failure. But there is nobility in the effort, and no one will ever say we didn't try. If we're to have an epitaph, it should be the words of our first anchor, Amy Atkins. We tried to do something great, and sometimes we did.